Welcome to Tech Sunday Funday, my new series where I recap the most exciting product launches of the last week. So let's jump into it. Okay, kicking it off is the Fairphone 5. If you haven't heard of Fairphone before, they are a company based out of Amsterdam that focus on sustainable and modular smartphones. Their sort of mission is challenging the way we approach consumer electronics, making sure that you actually own the piece of tech you buy, and if something goes wrong, you're able to fix it. So jumping into it, the latest Fairphone 5 has a 90Hz OLED display. This is a big jump over the previous models which had LCD displays, so you should get rich and contrasty colors and deep blacks. Now, to be clear, Fairphones have never been about specs. You definitely pay a tax for it being sustainable. The specs are very mid-range here, so don't expect sort of like killer performance. You're not going to be using this as a gaming phone. But it's still very respectable, and I think for most people, this should be powerful enough for your everyday tasks. So you've got two dual 50 megapixel cameras and 30-watt fast charging. Pretty standard, to be fair. But again, the standout here is being able to repair it. If you drop it and break a camera, instead of having to either send it in for repair and probably paying a huge fee, let's say to the likes of like Samsung or Apple, you just buy the camera that's broken. And I love this. I hope more phone companies buy into this approach of designing phones. Another thing unique to this is the number of years of software updates. So they're promising 5 years of Android updates and 8 years of security patches, which is insane. Just to compare, Samsung and Google offer up to 5 years of security updates, bearing in mind, obviously Google makes Android. And the Fairphone has a 5-year warranty. Pretty sure iPhones only have a 1-year warranty, so that's pretty impressive. Outside of that, you get 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of internal storage. And this must be one of the only phones left that has a micro SD, so storage shouldn't be a worry. And it's available September 14th in Europe. Unfortunately, it's not making its way to the US, at least not yet. And it starts at a price of €699 or £690 in the UK. Okay, moving on to the latest GoPro. It's no secret, I love GoPros. It's my go-to travel camera. It's durable, it's sturdy, it's versatile. And it's something you can just slip in your pocket as well. It's very portable. I'm always very impressed by the video quality I get out of it. This year we were hoping for a GoPro with a larger sensor, but we didn't get that. It's more quality of life improvements. The biggest thing being dramatically increased battery life. So they're saying twice the runtime of previous GoPro action cameras. And then there are lots of sort of professional upgrades as well that probably the average consumer isn't really going to make the most of, but I'm sure it'll be very useful for others. So this includes HDR photos and videos at 5.3K and a new GP log encoding, which I have no idea what that is. I'm probably not going to make use of that, but professionals likely will. Pretty neat feature is being able to use wireless Bluetooth headphones such as AirPods, which is pretty neat if you want to give your sort of like audio a boost, and this is really good. So a 1/4-inch mount is now built into it, so you're not just limited to the GoPro mount, you can actually use pretty much any tripod. And finally, a new max lens mod. So if you find that your GoPro field of view isn't large enough, then you can get this and it opens it up to 177 degrees. If you're a fan of wireless speakers, then you're in luck. Last week was clearly a week for speaker fans, and kicking that off was the Ultimate Ears Epic Boom. I've been a long-time fan of UE speakers, everything from their Wonder Boom speakers to their standard boom speakers. Their latest Epic Boom sits between the UE Boom and the UE Mega Boom, so it's quite a large speaker, but nowhere near as big as the Mega Boom. I see this as a speaker that sort of goes from room to room in your house and occasionally on a road trip. It's not as portable as the smaller boom series of speakers, but it's a nice size that's going to fill a room with sound. It's still just a Bluetooth speaker, which at this price, so $350 or £330, I think it's a little bit disappointing it's missing AirPlay 2 or like Spotify Connect. While I'm at home, I just prefer to stream over Wi-Fi than over Bluetooth. It sort of like detaches the need to have my smartphone, or if I want to take my phone elsewhere, the music doesn't stop and cut off. It does have some fierce competition, moving on to the Sonos Move, which is next. Very similar concept to the Epic Boom. This is a speaker, quite a large speaker that's designed to be taken from room to room, not tethered to a wall outlet. Except the Move 2, in my eyes, is a lot more versatile. And to be fair, it should be. It does cost an extra £100 or $100. But it comes with AirPlay 2, it comes with Spotify Connect, it comes with a voice assistant of your choice, which I think is, I say choice, I think it's either Sonos' own assistant or Alexa. But it also has line in as well, something that's sort of like a fading thing nowadays. It's a rarity. So you could plug in a vinyl player or a CD player. It just gives you that sort of versatility to use it how you want. Again, I don't think this is a speaker you're going to take out of the house very often. It's just designed to go from room to room. But this could be your only speaker you need. If you're having a barbecue outside, you can take it out. If you just want to use it inside, you can. It feels at home, regardless where you're using it. So, big upgrade from the previous one is that it has 24 hours of playback. This is more than double the previous one. Again, obviously this is great, but it's mainly designed to be used at home. So I don't see it being like a huge upgrade. If you've already got an existing Move, then no need to run out and get the new one. It now supports stereo sound instead of just mono, like the original Move. One big bonus of the Sonos Move over any other sort of like standard Bluetooth speakers is that the battery is replaceable, which means this isn't just going to be thrown away and go to landfill in a few years' time. Once your battery has degraded, you just buy a new battery. That's something that other speaker companies should take note of. Okay, so the last speaker on my list is definitely the most expensive, but also the most beautiful and luxurious of them. You can always count on Bang & Olufsen to make a beautiful speaker, and this, I think, might be one of their most beautiful ones yet. It can be used in a variety of ways. You can use it as a standalone unit, or you can create a stereo pair, or you can even use it as part of a home theater system. So the speaker is built upon B&O's existing Mozart platform, which basically means it has all of the latest wireless protocols. You can play music over Wi-Fi, over Bluetooth, and like the Sonos speaker, it also has a line in, so you can plug in a vinyl player or any sort of like analog sources of your choice. But what makes this speaker stand out, other than its look and premium materials, is some of the extra features that are really cool. So the speaker has a beam width control. So you can either have a sort of narrow listening field or sort of like a wider listening field. There's also a technology called ultra wideband. You might have heard of this. It's used in Apple's own AirTag, so you can track your lost items, but they're using it slightly differently here. So when you're listening to a set of speakers, especially when you've got stereo speakers, there's the sweet spot. And quite often, to get the perfect sweet spot, you have to maneuver your speakers around, sort of like toe them in, point them in the right direction. But with these speakers, it uses the ultra wideband chip in your iPhone, for example, and sort of like tracks where you are in the room and sort of like follows you, I guess. So the sweet spot is always there regardless of where you are in the room. So that's your tech update. Which of those products excites you the most, and are you going to pick up any of them? I'm sure I've missed out some products too, so please let me know in the comments if I have. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.